Welcome to the Jolly Roger. My name's Chef Brian, and today we are going to do a roast, and we're going to braise this roast. Right here I have a chuck roast I cut in half. I seasoned one side. We're going to put this in our Dutch oven over here in just a second once it comes up to heat. And I have some onions and some garlic, and I have some red wine and beef stock that we're going to use as our liquid for our braising liquid. And then we'll remove the meat when it's done, and then we're going to thicken it, and that'll be kind of like our gravy jus type of sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some oil in here and bring it back when it's preheated. Matter of fact, it's ready to go. Shoot, look at that. All right, we're gonna take this guy, put him in, just like that. We're gonna do that for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, like normal. Take a little bit of oil. This helps the seasoning stick. All I have is salt, pepper, and Cavenders. And we're gonna be very generous because this is so thick with our salt. We want that seasoning to get in everything. So, and if you season up high, you can see how it spreads out pretty well. That's what you want, because you don't want to season down here. That's a pain in the butt. So, I have some Cavenders. We're just gonna go ahead and lightly put some of that on. And some black pepper. And then we'll pat down our seasoning, flip it over, and do the other side. I already put oil on this side. And we'll season our salt. And Cavenders. This dish is actually what we made for our Christmas dinner at the house, and it was super good. I wanted to share it with y'all. And it's a lot cheaper of a cut than buying like a prime rib roast, and you save a little bit of money, but you also keep all the flavor, and that's what we're looking for. All right, it's seasoned. I'll bring you back when I flip this one, but again, we probably have another 45 seconds to 50 seconds on this side, and then I'll flip, do another 2 minutes, and bring you back. See you in a minute. Nice. This is the color that we're looking for, that Maillard reaction that's caramelized. You can see overhead. That's what we want. We want that right there. It gives a good texture and a good mouthfeel when you eat it. So, another couple minutes on this side, and then I'll do this, and then we'll be done searing, and I'll show you the next process. Now that our meat is seared, I'm gonna go ahead and turn down the heat because this is really hot. I'm gonna add in my onions. And this stuff at the bottom is called fond, F-O-N-D. And what we're gonna get all that flavor, because that's flavor right there. And this onion, what they're gonna do is they're gonna release their juices, and then we can deglaze, which is a term for getting the fond up with a cold liquid. A lot of people use alcohol. Some people can use stock. If you don't like alcohol, that's perfectly fine to do. We're going to use a little bit of red wine right here, just a couple of tablespoons. And what we're looking for with these onions is we're looking for them to turn translucent. And you can see as I'm moving the spoon back and forth that fond is coming up, and there's good flavor in there for our jus later on. And we want to capture all that. But once our onions turn translucent, I'm gonna add in our garlic and cook those for about 30 seconds to 45 seconds until you can start smelling the garlic, and then the garlic is done. And then we're gonna add in more red wine, and we're gonna add in our beef stock. And I'll tell you the measurements when I know. If you have like a really thick chunk of meat that's even thicker than what we have here, you're gonna be using a little bit more liquid versus what we're using today. You want to go about 2/3 of the way up on your meat with your liquid when we're braising. And then once that is all complete, I have an oven preheated to 325 degrees, and we're going to braise this in the oven with the top on for 2.5 to 3 hours. What I did for Christmas was about 2.5, and I wanted it a little bit more tender, so we're going to do 3 hours today. And we are translucent on our onions, so it's time to add in our garlic. And this dish is so quick and easy to set up, It's just the cooking time in the oven is what takes so long. But it is very easy to do, and it's extremely delicious. And as soon as you smell that garlic, we're gonna add in our stock. And that is getting there right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in our stock. I have 2.5 cups right here. And we're just gonna add the whole thing. And then I can add in my meat so our onions aren't cooking. And the reason I cut this in half is because I wanted to get that good sear, and we don't have as much space in the Dutch oven for that. So we just do it 2 at a time. And my tongs are not the best. I need bigger ones. All right, and then I'm gonna add in about a cup, maybe a cup and a half of red wine. And you can use any red wine. This is a Pinot Noir. You can use a Cabernet Sauvignon, or any dry red wine pairs really well with red meat. So those are what I would recommend. This is a cup and a half. And we have a little bit, but that's gonna be perfectly fine right there. We'll shift this around. And now what we do is we put our lid on, and we're gonna throw it in the oven. So I will bring you back in about 3 hours. I'll see you in a little bit. It's been 3 hours. I got you overhead. This is what it looks like, and this is how I tell if it's done or not. And I just stick the fork in, and it is tender. It's gonna fall apart. So what we need to do is we're gonna remove the meat from the pan, and then we are going to thicken this with a cornstarch slurry. I have 5 tablespoons. I doubt I'm gonna use 5 tablespoons of it, but I just wanted enough for this take. So I have like a spider. That's what we call them in restaurants. Oh yeah. It's gonna be fall apart tender. Use the fork, drain any excess. And then I have some aluminum foil on the other side of the table that we're gonna use to cover this so it stays warm while we do this. But yeah, that's perfect. That's what I wanted on Christmas. But, you know, it's still delicious. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna be awesome. 2.5 was fine, but this is gonna be better. So, I got that. We're gonna put the onions back in. We're just gonna lightly tint our meats. I'm gonna hit start, and it's not gonna take long for this to come up to a boil. We want it to come up to a boil because at 203 degrees Fahrenheit is when your cornstarch reacts, and it reacts with the heat, and that's what causes it to thicken up. And it's just, you take a tablespoon of cornstarch and roughly a tablespoon of water, and you mix it together, and it forms this liquid. And it's kind of like making a roux, but you're kind of cheating because it's so quick, whereas a roux just takes a little longer. And see, we're already coming up to a boil. So I'm just gonna add in a little at a time just to get it started. And then when I get to my desired thickness, then I'll stop. And if you do go over your desired thickness, all you do is take some warm water and loosen it back up. So, all right, we're golden. So we're just gonna go a little at a time, stir while we do it. And I'm not looking for a thick gravy. I'm just kind of looking for a glaze type of thickness. And that right there is what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna cut the heat. Lynn went ahead and made some mashed potatoes and some steamed broccoli. And all we're gonna do with the broccoli is we're gonna toss it with some lemon juice and a little bit of salt. The potatoes are perfect, and then we'll plate up and we'll do a taste test in just a second. See you in a minute.
You know, this is my favorite part, so yeah. Come. Give me food.
All right, everyone. So I wanted to show you how I plated this. I just put mashed potatoes down on the bottom. I put the meat on top of the mashed potatoes. Did a little crescent moon shape of steamed broccoli tossed with lemon juice and salt, and put the gravy over top. And I want to show you how tender this meat is. Like, it'll just shred apart. So that is like the best part of this dish. And I know it's time consuming, that you have to take 3 hours to do this, but the results are phenomenal. So I hope you give this a try. I'm just gonna do a little bite right here. And it was steaming in the thumbnail for sure, so it's gonna be warm.
It's not that bad. But.
So much better than Christmas. We should have done the 30 minutes.
Yep.
3 hours.
3 hours, definitely.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, I hope you like, comment, share, subscribe, you know, all that YouTube stuff. And come back next week and we'll show you something else. Y'all take care.
Bye.
Bye. That's ball game.